that's the tips that he was giving to men generally. That's what they should do.
Oh, in any situation.
That was his.
Even if you just meet a girl on the first date, that's kind of hard. That's kind of crazy. Then that's kind of crazy because I would think any woman on the first date would be like, "Bye, they go to dough." Now, if that's what's working for him, I just would really like to know what type of women he's dating because I don't think that would like work on a first
19-year-old.
Yeah, it's got to be. Because like I said, only situation I've seen that work in is in when a woman has been playing games and you know what I'm saying, and it's like. I'm not about to deal with this today. I'm out of here. That's the only situation I've seen it work in. When she really wants to be chased, and then she could be like, let me stop playing with him because one of those type of situations. But in like a first date situation, or I'm just trying to strong arm some coochie and stuff like that. But it's like you said, it's a level of understanding that a person to have, and with that other person, and I mean, that situation right there is borderline. It could be a good way to get it, and it could be a bad way of getting it. In this situation, I think it's a bad way of getting it.
It's a bad way. He's manipulating the situation.
But I get
horrible.
He's supposed to. That's what he wants.
No,
he's supposed to do that. She can say
but
no.
Therein lies the problem of the lack of understanding. See, that to me is like one of the biggest issues. That I feel like a lot of men do think that certain things are a game and they always playing and everything is not a joke, right? The thing is that I'm gonna read this snippet that tells you what sexual coercion is, because I feel like people don't understand what that means. They think if you're not literally like threatening somebody, like then it's not coercion. But it says, in a healthy relationship, both partners feel comfortable with the level of physical activity, whether that means holding hands, kissing, or touching, or having intercourse. It says, if someone makes you feel obligated or forced to do something you don't want to do, you may have been experienced coercion. By definition, sexual coercion is the act of using pressure, alcohol or drugs, or force to have sexual contact with someone against his or her will. It includes persistent attempts to have sexual contact with someone who has already refused. That's coercion. It doesn't mean you have to literally give somebody alcohol or drugs. That could be a part of it. It means you could just be pressuring somebody. Just, well, you need to do it. You need to do it, or I'm finna da da da. That's what coercion is. And I think too often.
So all he did was threaten to go home.
Right. That's still
okay. So let him go. If a woman,
I'm not saying that you can't let the person go home. But what I'm saying is that that's still poor behavior and it's still coercion. It's still coercion because you have some people that are more susceptible to those types of things and some people who are not. You have some people who are confident in who they are and everything and be like, nah, whatever. And you have some people who
that's why I say it's a thin line
and may feel obligated and may be like, well, I didn't really want him to leave. Like, I just made him upset. Like, oh, now I got to fix it. You have some people who feel that way. That's why it's manipulation and that's why it's coercion. And that's why it does work on some people and maybe not on others. But with the people that it does work with, they're being coerced. Like if they initially they change their mind because they don't want this person to leave, they were coerced.
You put too much on the man in that. I get it. But at some point, a woman has to take accountability for the decision she makes. If she doesn't want to have sex and he says, I'm leaving if you don't have she should now if she
I never said for anybody not to take accountability. What I'm explaining is what it seems like right now, because so many people are confused about what that means. And maybe if people were more educated on what they were doing, then people would be more aware of how they're behaving. What I'm saying is that, yes, we do behave like that in a lot of instances where that seems as okay behavior, but it's not okay behavior. And these are the reasons why it's not okay behavior.
I think the bigger issue is why two people obviously not getting to know each other, for a man to not know how comfortable she is. And two, why is he at her house that soon in the relationship to Netflix?
Why is it so unrealistic to think that men can't get out? Like I could have invited this man over here to smash and pass. It could have been that simple, and he showed up musty. It could have just been that simple, and now we can watch the movie.
It may not even be nothing that deep like that they did. You just may have thought you were ready or whatever, got in the situation and was like, nah, I'm really.
Exactly. Nobody's playing
not comfortable enough yet.
Yeah, that's cool. And if you change your mind, I'm changing my mind. I'm about to go now.
No, that's fine. It was the way it went the whole bout. Don't touch me. Go. I'm going. Like, why you acting like a child?
Yeah, don't touch me. Ain't about to be no physicality going on right now. Don't touch me.
Yeah,
I can't touch you. Don't touch me.
What he did?
Like if we go keep it, we got to keep it all the way 100, right? I can see if this was the everyday. You got different types of women. It's women who likes to be chased and play the game, right? And then it's women that's really serious, like, nah, I don't want to do nothing. And for a man, it's kind of hard to find that. Like, you have to. That's why I encourage everybody to know one another. You have to get to know the woman.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out when it became.
Yes, it is.
You cannot. It's not my fault. I just don't.
You cannot counter poor behavior with poor behavior. You cannot do that. This is not a forest fire where it's a good idea to set a fire to try to put out a fire. That's what firefighters do out in the forest. That's not how people work. If you're somebody who is direct, that's how you deal with adults. Be direct. All these games, it's ridiculous. That video, he basically was showing men, okay, this is what you do to try to get what you want. You know, why is it that when you have a situation where maybe you invited over to watch a movie, people who manipulate, they always calculating to see how stuff adds up to where it'll give them what they want. He was manipulative. That's what he's doing. He's teaching manipulation because he's basically telling guys out there, if you at her house and you're in her dwelling, that's one. And then y'all are watching a movie, y'all Netflix, that's 2. Okay. And then y'all are getting close, that's 3. And then all of a sudden, she really want to watch the movie. Oh no, you can't let that go down like that. You got to say this, and then this is when this will happen. That's manipulation. It ain't no other way around it. And the other part of it is, we got to stop treating men like they are these creatures that have these animal instincts and they ain't got no self-control. You do have self-control. Just sometimes you just have to take things for what you see in front of you. I don't care if she wearing a red dress, red lipstick, and smell good. If y'all just watching a movie, y'all are just watching a movie until she show you something else. That's it. Like,
my whole thing is that
I think what really does need to be addressed though is because I find what he did very manipulative, right? And that's not honorable. I think we can all agree. I think even Darwin is like now agreeing that's manipulation, right? It's preying on somebody's vulnerabilities or whatever, or maybe taking advantage of how they feel about you to get something that you want, right? That's manipulation. I think that we can't have this conversation though without talking to women and really urging women to be more thoughtful about who they are allowing in their personal space and in these intimate spaces. I'm not saying that it's her fault that he was manipulating her, but I just wonder, like, what type of relationship or dynamic was she entertaining with this guy for them to even be in this situation? Like,
I'm going to have to give some pushback on that too, because what I'm saying,
there's something going on. Like,
in my experience, I have encountered this type of behavior so many times because it's deemed as what you're supposed to do. You see, he's sitting up here, but the thing is, he's just on the internet saying it out loud, right? But this is what they tell each other that you're supposed to do, in regardless. So what I'm saying is, it is a pattern of behavior. It's a culture of how people behave. So it's not necessarily like, oh, because I was talking to this kind of person and this kind of person acts like that and not this kind. No, it's consistent. No,
I'm not talking even so much about the kind of person, but the relationship. Like, now every guy that you go spend time with in an intimate setting, you're not gonna have sex with. That's right. But I'm just like, where is the communication lacking?
Because
they think that no means yes.
That's what I was gonna say. He really thought a movie meant a movie.
Quick thing.
They think no means
yes. Who told him that? Like,
how many times
some men think that, But then it's like, why does he even think that he has an opportunity? Was she entertaining the opportunity?
Because it goes back.
Thought that the women are the gatekeepers of sex, right? That's why it's a game to
Thank
them.
you.
Game to them
Thank you.
See how to do all the little things that they could do to try to find the best way to get this gate kept sex, instead of making it like I said, an exchange where they both want to do it. They're okay with making it up. Well, if I gotta tell her I love her to get it, I'm gonna do it. If I gotta do this to do it, then whatever kind of ways that I can behave that could get this thing out of this person, as opposed to just like I say, figuring out what this person is attracted to and like maybe getting them to mutually be interested in me. No, I'm gonna do all of these other tactics because in my mind, women don't want sex. Sex is something that I want from them. So therefore, it doesn't matter.
So this is my thing. This is my thing. How many times have you all on this panel and women in general say, once a man show you who they are, believe them, right? So as a society, men has told y'all what we do, what we expect, and what leads to certain things in our mind. So if you all know this, without a shadow of a doubt, you all know this. Typically, if you invite a man over your house to Netflix or chill and watch a movie, you know what he's thinking. This is what you all know. So this is where accountability comes in at. Now you're going to act like y'all don't know how men operate and still do what y'all know is going to happen anyways, right? And then when it happens, y'all put all the blame on the man because, he's the one that did it. Granted, yes, his behavior is wrong. But at the same time, you're not going to just sit here and just play this naive role all the time and then put yourself in fire. And then when you get burnt, you try to put it all on the man. If I know it's hot over here, I'm not going over here, point blank. So you can't. I understand. And if you know men think it's a game, then take them as face value. This is how they think. I
don't disagree with what you're saying, and that's why it takes for us more less naive women who've had these experiences that have taught us these things to impart that on young ladies. And men can get as upset and as mad as they want to, right? Because it's always you making all of us the same. You're trying to act like this and that. It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting.
I know, but you're not going to change men overnight, right? So what we need to do is learn how to protect our women. Because if the men is not going to change and they haven't changed over generation to generation, now it's time to protect our women.
The only reason why the men are not going to change is because of how you're talking right now. It's because we pretend like
that's how I'm talking. I'm just giving you
honestly. I'm trying to figure out what can you do for a man that doesn't make him want to have sex? Because you can invite a man for coffee and he think he's gonna get some coochie afterward. So you can't say, "Oh, well, you know what? Lead to sex."
It's the mindset, everything is the culture, and as long as that mindset remains in place. Like I said, I'm going to tell more naive girls coming up that haven't had these experiences. I'm like, this is my experience. This is what it is. It's whatever. But if they're into manipulating people and trying to figure out all of these ways, they're going to just change it to another tactic for that decade. So
why do you think it just turns into we
Why do you think it's so easy for a person like me when I'm talking to my friends and I'm telling them about my situation and all the things I've learned and all the wrongs that I've done and how bad it was, and I'm talking to them and they giving me that, and this, that, and then they turn right around in the same conversation and say the same stuff, and I'd be like, golly, you're not even understanding what I'm saying. So as I'm not saying what how men act is right. What I'm saying is it's gonna take a lot more than a couple of people trying to explain to some men what's going on, and until they get it, I think women are more. I think women are more. They adapt a little bit more. They change a little bit more, and they listen and they understand a little bit more because they're willing to change more than men. So what I'm saying is, let's try to tackle the problem we know we can get to a little bit.
Putting it on the women because the women are easier.
It's all about protect. I don't care how we get to the point of protecting a woman, just as long as we do it.
I think in general, in dating, people are not assertive enough. Too many games and too much assuming going on and too much of this these not said formalities, that if I do all these equations that we've created in society to say, okay, if you in this situation and it's a man involved, then he automatically gonna be expecting sex. What you gonna do? We need to teach women how to be assertive. And when I say assertiveness, I'm not saying speak your mind in a way where it's going to come off as disrespectful, but just being assertive, being upfront with people about your situation that you're about to go into. I mean, I obviously, the dinosaurs are roaming the earth when I was dating, but I was assertive with my husband, and I explained to him initially, I can't control what you do, but this is what Javonda does. And what Javonda does not do, I don't have casual sex, period. Our second date was us at his apartment watching movies, and the stairs were right there. And yeah, he kept looking over and talking and trying to lead the conversation. And I had to finally say, look, it's not going to happen. I like you. We're going to get to know each other, but it's not going to happen. We need to make it okay for sex. Because that's what it comes down to.
What you talking about?
What you talking about? What you talking about? No.
About sex.
Right. But then that's when.
Thank you. We supposed to know men want sex. Now he ain't saying nothing about sex.
I don't see.
This is how. Ain't this how the conversation gonna go?
Hey.
About sex. What you talking
about? And you can do that. And you can do that. And I'm going to stick to my guns. And that's what we're not teaching enough. We're not teaching women how to stick to their guns, like being assertive.
That starts. Think about how
exactly.
That starts. That's why I'm very adamant. Like my daughter is 4 years old. If she don't want to hug somebody, if she don't want to give, you know what I'm saying?
Say it exactly.
We don't have to do it. We do it so early where we socialize girls to feel like they have to be agreeable, that they have to be in tune with how other people feel and make it other. Like we can't ignore that. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
Are socialized generally. Of course, it don't apply to every single person. I always got to make this disclaimer, but generally, boys are more socialized to be more about what they want.
That's
what they don't want.
Since we have a daughter,
girls are socialized to be more about what everybody else is expecting.
And since we have a daughter, I feel more comfortable teaching my daughter the do's and don'ts than trying to.
We have sons too.
Then trying to. Every dude she bring home, we don't know how he is. So let's concentrate on how my daughter needs to act, because I'm not about to change all these knuckleheads that she's about to come in contact with. But as long as I know she knows how to act, I feel a little bit comfortable, because, like you said, men is going to manipulate to try to get what they want, and we just not about to stop that.
What about
women women have
gonna manipulate to get what they want? We don't have control over teaching our own sons. We just gonna focus on our daughters. Unleash our sons out here onto other people's daughters.
I was just talking about my daughter just now.
Right, because we don't want to bring the sons into we're raising the sons and the daughters that are doing this.
We gotta come back to that one, because that's a very, very good topic. We gotta hash that out. But we have a caller. Caller, would you like to introduce yourself?
Ashley, like hash that shit out at home.
Mute yourself.
I'm sorry.
What? Actually, I was calling to say something similar to what Cannon just spoke about, as far as the way that we're conditioning very, very young children around consent.